Ever heard the one about the Bitcoin miner who went broke? He couldn't budget because he had no cash flow, only Bitcoin. That's right, folks, we're mining for laughs today. And the comedy gold we're digging up is all about Bitcoin and the wild, wild world of cryptocurrency. But don't worry, this isn't a get-rich-quick infomercial. We're not selling you anything except perhaps a few chuckles. Here's another nugget for you. Did you know when Bitcoin was first launched back in 2009, it was virtually worthless? That's right, it was like the ugly duckling of currencies, overlooked and undervalued. Now it's strutting around like a beautiful swan, making those early miners look like geniuses, or incredibly lucky ducks. But what is Bitcoin exactly? Well, imagine if your computer could create money. Sounds pretty good, right? Now, imagine if it took a ton of time, energy, and some serious computer power to do it. That's Bitcoin mining in a nutshell. It's a process that involves your computer solving complex mathematical problems, and if it's successful, voila, you've just mined a Bitcoin. However, it's not all fun and games. There's a reason why it's called mining. Just like mining for gold or coal, it's hard work. It takes time, it takes energy, and there's no guarantee you'll strike it rich. In fact, the odds are stacked heavily against you. But hey, who doesn't love a good challenge? And now, we come to the crux of our comedy proof of work. It sounds like something out of a high school report card, but it's actually a type of algorithm used in Bitcoin mining. You see, proof of work is like the bouncer at the Bitcoin club. It makes sure only the hardest working miners get in. Now let's dig into the world of Bitcoin mining, and I promise it's not as dark or as dirty as coal mining. Imagine you're in a world where solving a complex math problem is like finding a golden ticket to a chocolate factory. Except it's not chocolate, it's Bitcoin. Now, you're probably wondering, what does a digital currency have to do with a golden ticket or a chocolate factory? Well, let's dive into the world of Bitcoin mining to find out. It's a bit like a treasure hunt, where the treasure is Bitcoin and your map is a math problem. But it's not just any math problem. It's a problem so complex it would make even Albert Einstein blush. Here's where the golden ticket analogy comes in. Just like in the story of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where finding a golden ticket in a chocolate bar was the key to the grand prize. The same concept applies to Bitcoin mining. Except, instead of unwrapping chocolate bars, miners are solving complex mathematical problems. And instead of a tour of a whimsical chocolate factory, the prize is a shiny, digital Bitcoin. But what's the point of all this math and problem solving? This is where proof of work comes into play. Proof of work is the mechanism that makes Bitcoin mining possible. It's the proof that a miner has put in the work to solve the complex problem and earn their golden ticket, or in this case, their Bitcoin. Proof of work is what keeps Bitcoin secure and trustworthy. It ensures that no one can cheat the system or create Bitcoins out of thin air. It's kind of like a security guard for the Bitcoin network, making sure that everyone plays by the rules. So, in this world of Bitcoin mining, your golden ticket isn't just a ticket to a magical chocolate factory. It's a ticket to a digital currency that's changing the way we think about money. It's a ticket to the future of finance, where transactions are secure, trustless, and decentralized. And the best part? Anyone with the right equipment and enough determination can become a Bitcoin miner. It's like a modern-day gold rush, except this time, we're mining for digital gold. So, who needs a chocolate factory when you can mine Bitcoin, right? Scene script. Think of proof of work as a marathon for mathletes, where the finish line is a shiny new Bitcoin. Imagine a marathon, but instead of sweating it out on a long, grueling track, participants are hunched over their computers, their fingers flying across the keyboard, their minds whirring at top speed. This is no ordinary race. It's a race of the minds, a competition of computational prowess. The goal? To solve a complex mathematical problem. The reward? A shiny new Bitcoin. This is the essence of proof of work. Much like a marathon, it's a test of endurance and skill. But instead of physical stamina, it requires computational power. This power is harnessed by miners, the participants in this digital race, who use it to solve complex mathematical problems. These problems aren't just academic exercises, though. They're crucial to the functioning of the Bitcoin network. Each problem represents a block of transactions. When a miner solves a problem, they validate a block of transactions, adding it to the blockchain and maintaining the integrity of the Bitcoin network. But this isn't a group project. It's a cutthroat competition. Only the first miner to solve the problem gets the reward. Like any marathon, the proof of work race is designed to be hard. The problems are deliberately complex, and they get more difficult as more miners join the race. This ensures that the race is fair and that the Bitcoin network remains secure. But here's the kicker. The reward for solving a problem isn't just a single Bitcoin. It's a handful of shiny new Bitcoins, freshly minted by the network. This is the miner's reward, their incentive to keep mining, to keep solving problems, to keep the Bitcoin network running smoothly. So, the next time you think about Bitcoin mining, don't imagine a pickaxe and a hard hat. Instead, picture a marathon for mathletes, a race of the minds. And just like a marathon, the first one to cross the finish line gets the medal, or in this case, the Bitcoin. Did you hear about the Bitcoin miner who confused his electricity bill with a phone number? He thought he'd dialed a wrong number when he saw the total. Now that might sound like an over-the-top joke, but it's not far from the truth. Bitcoin mining is a bit like a monster that's constantly hungry. But instead of gobbling up cookies, it devours energy. Lots and lots of energy. Imagine a gigantic invisible beast that's always chomping at the bit, eager to munch on kilowatts like they're candy. That's Bitcoin mining. Now, it's not that Bitcoin has a sweet tooth, it's more of a, how shall we put it, an energy tooth, perhaps. You see, Bitcoin mining is a process where transactions are verified and added to the public ledger, known as the blockchain. And this process requires a significant amount of computational power. So every time a miner solves a complex mathematical problem to add a new block to the blockchain, it's like they're running a marathon on a treadmill that's powered by electricity. And boy, does it guzzle up that power. According to some estimates, Bitcoin mining globally uses more electricity than some entire countries. Imagine that. It's as if Bitcoin mining is its own little nation, with its citizens tirelessly churning away at their computers, all in pursuit of that elusive digital gold. And this massive energy consumption isn't just about the numbers. It has real-world implications too. There's the cost of the electricity bill, of course, which can make a miner's eyes water. But there's also the environmental impact to consider. Every kilowatt hour used in mining means more fossil fuels burned, more greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere, and more pressure on our already strained planet. But hey, let's not end on a downer. After all, this is about mining for laughs, right? So here's a thought to tickle your funny bone. Next time you hear about Bitcoin mining, picture a horde of energy-hungry monsters chomping away at giant candy bars made of electricity. So before you start mining, make sure you've got a power plant in your backyard. So, now that we've run the Mathletes Marathon, found the golden ticket, and got a shocking electricity bill, what have we learned? Well, we've learned that Bitcoin mining is essentially a high-stakes game of Sudoku. Instead of trying to fill a grid with numbers, though, you're solving complex mathematical problems. And instead of getting a sense of satisfaction when you complete it, you get a Bitcoin. It's like a treasure hunt, but for math nerds. We've also learned that Bitcoin, much like the golden ticket in Willy Wonka, is a highly sought-after prize. But instead of getting a tour of a chocolate factory, you get a piece of digital currency. Sounds less delicious, but it's potentially more lucrative. And let's not forget about the energy it takes to mine Bitcoin. It's like running a marathon. Not just any marathon, but one that's uphill, both ways, in the snow, with a bear chasing you. Okay, maybe not the bear part, but it's a lot of energy. If Bitcoin miners were a country, they'd be in the top 30 energy-consuming nations. That's a lot of light bulbs. But is it worth it? Well, that's like asking if it's worth it to search for a needle in a haystack. If that needle is made of gold and could potentially be worth millions, then yeah, it's probably worth it, but be prepared for a lot of hay in your shoes. So, there you have it. The world of Bitcoin mining in a nutshell. It's a wild, crazy, and sometimes baffling place. But if you're up for a challenge and don't mind a little math, it could be the golden ticket you've been looking for. And remember, if anyone asks you about proof of work, just tell them it's a math problem that's worth more than gold, but might just leave you in the dark.